The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. Just want to start off the morning by saying thank you to all of you for taking time out of your day to join me and Dustin from Fidelity and Guarantee Life. We're going to be diving in, looking at a few exciting things that they've got going on, new product, some new strategies, as well as talking about their deferred comp plan, which is always a nice feature for you agents out in the field. So we're going to go through some stuff today. If you have questions, you can go ahead and type those in as we go. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Laura Johnson. I work here in the Annuity department at IAMS. Been with the company for close to 14, 15 years now. So anytime you need help on the life or the annuity side, feel free to give me a shout. I'd be happy to assist you. So we're going to get going here on the few first slides, some intro slides about IAMS, and then we'll hand the presentation over to Dustin. Alrighty, first thing I'm going to talk about are some different incentive programs. When you first come on board with IAMS, or in your first 6 months, you got 180 days to qualify for this. It's our new producer bonus. So if considering joining IAMS or just recently joined IAMS, this would apply to you. As you can see on the screen, there are 3 different tiers with different prizes that can be won. For example, you do a $100,000 life or index annuity or single premium life, with us, get 750 cash, or we'll build you a website and pay for it for 2 years, or get you the latest generation of an iPad. If you decide not to cash out at the $100,000 level, you go for the $300,000 level. As you can see, we pay for 3,000 postcard mailing regarding Social Security, as well as give you their software for Social Security, or we'll give you $2,000 in marketing reimbursement or $1,500 cash. And if you're really ambitious, go for that $500,000 level. As you can see, we'll pretty much pay for your one-on-one coaching with one of our seminar coaches, as well as pay for your first mailing. Or you can do Ritz-Carlton travel rewards, and I will mention there is a marketing reimbursement and cash option at that level too. So a great way for us to partner with you off your first couple pieces of business and help you as far as growing your business. After you're done with the new producer bonus, we move you into a marketing reimbursement program. This is ongoing forever. So for any index annuity premium you do, $100, $100,000 would put $100 in your marketing reimbursement account. If you do $100,000 of single premium life, we'll put $200 in your marketing reimbursement account. And if you do $10,000 of life target premium, that would be equivalent to $200 as well. So some great ways for us to put money back in your pocket, help you with your marketing expenses. I think it's a very valuable thing for agents. As you all know, your business is built on referrals. Well, so is ours. So what we've done is we've built a referred producer program. If you've got an agent out in the field that you know that could maybe benefit from our products or services, and you refer them over to us, when they get contracted, we're going to give you $50. When they write their first piece of business, we're going to give you $100. And going forward, we'll pay you 20 basis point override on all the business they write thereafter. So just a good way for us to say thank you. I will mention those checks are mailed quarterly, so we don't pay them as business gets issued. It is paid quarterly, but I will also tell you those are Stephen Charles's favorite checks to sign. Here at IAMS, it's part of our name insurance agency marketing services. We really hone in on the service part. We're not looking to be the biggest FMO out in the industry. We're looking for agents who want to partner with us and have the best service in the industry. We're really striving to be number one when it comes to service. We start that off with having a 3-ring guarantee when you call the office. If you haven't noticed, there's no automated phone system. There's no leaving voicemails. We pick up the phone live every time. If for some reason I'm not available, someone on the other line is going to tell you that they can take a message for me. They'll send me an instant message or an email with your name and number, and I'll give you a shout back. So we really want to make sure you can get your answers right when you need them. We're going to help you with all your case design, as far as getting you forms, making sure you're compliant with your trainings before you go out and write business. We really want to help you from the time you are thinking about the case till the time you're paid your commission. Amber and her team do a great job every time a piece of business comes in. They scrub it, make sure it's in good order. If not, they're going to call you, let you know what you missed. And then they will follow up on your business every 3 to 5 business days for you. Also, we are insurance pay for contracting, so paperless contracting makes all of our lives a lot easier. If you haven't talked to anyone in our creative team, I would encourage you to do so. Sean Kylie, Jacob do a great job for our agents for everything from turnkey flyers to newsletters to, hey, you just joined the business and you need a logo and business card design. We can do all of that here in-house at IAMS. Looking for a website, you're doing digital marketing, want to do some social media marketing. We've seen social media marketing blow up over the last several months, between LinkedIn, Facebook. We're filling seminar rooms every day using social media. So just anything you're looking to do on the marketing front, give Jacob or Sean or any of them a call. They'd be able to help you out with that. So I think that's a really important group, because you go out to any freelancer out in the industry anywhere in the United States, and they're going to be paying 10 times as much as that our creative department can do it for. So some really great things happening over there. If you haven't been to our website, www.imsinc.com, I'm not going to go through everything on the website. I will just point out my favorites. I will tell you now, we do have EAP Solutions tab on our website, so you have access to Firelight, iGo or iPipelines, EAP for life insurance, and then we've got a Medicare Solutions EAP as well. So whether you're doing life, annuity, Medicare, you can do it all through EAP on our website. You will have to request access to that. We'll have to give you a sign-on information for that. But if you go on our website and go to the EAP Solutions, there's a registration tab right there. A couple other spots that I think are really important if you check out something new to our website is our marketing corner. Some great articles, some marketing tips and tricks, some great information out there as well. And then our sales resource library. If you go under the support tab, you can check out our sales resource library. I think this is really beneficial for a lot of different reasons. There's a lot of resources out there just for you guys, whether it be a financial calculator or maybe you're dealing on an estate case and you need a fact finder specific to that. There's probably 5 different options out on this annuity sales resource library. Also, another popular thing are the client presentations. I can't say how many times I get a phone call where hey, Laura, my client needs to understand a little bit more what a fixed index annuity is. Well, out on the sales resource library, there's a client presentation that's probably a 10-page document telling you everything you need to know about fixed indexed annuity. So, I mean, there's some really great resources out there. If you haven't been on our website, want a little tour, give myself a call or your marketer here at IAMS. We'd be happy to walk you through that. Next, I'm going to talk about IAMS Wealth Management. We did start an RIA here a couple of years ago when that lovely DOL was looming over all of our worlds. And it may be gone for now, but is it gone forever? Probably not. So with that, we did start an RIA. Charles Jr., Mike Hansen, Joan do a great job for our advisors. When we built this RIA, we built it for the insurance producer. We wanted it to be an opportunity to help our agents who were just selling insurance become full financial planners and be able to fully help their clients. I see agents all the time go into households where a client's got 500,000 and maybe F&G says they're only going to take 350,000 of it. What are you as the advisor going to do with that other 150,000? If you don't have a place to put it, you're just allowing another financial advisor to come in and potentially steal that client from you. So we think it's very important. If you've got your 65 or you're a CFP, we can get you registered. Or if maybe you're looking to study for the test and have some questions, give them a call. I am going to throw the first poll question up. And as I do throw this up, I'm going to talk about our soliciting program with IAMS Wealth Management. Depending on the state you live in, there's a chance that we could pay you a portion of the fee that's charged to a client. So if maybe you're studying for your exam, you've got a client and you just really don't want to lose those assets or have potential of losing those, you can refer those over to wealth management and they will service that client for you. And once you pass your exam, they will transfer that client over to you. In the meantime, depending on the state, there's a good chance we could pay you a portion of that fee. So it's a great way for you to keep control of the assets for your client without allowing another advisor to come in and potentially steal that client. So if you are interested in our soliciting program, again, that does vary based on state if we're allowed to pay a portion of the fee. Or if you just have questions in general about the platform, go ahead and answer yes, and we will have one of the gentlemen over in that department give you a call. Also, with the poll questions, the faster you answer, the faster we get to move on. So if you guys could go ahead and finish that up for me, we'll go on to the next one. Next, I'm going to talk about our Life and Annuity Academy. We do these about 3 or 4 times a year. We're really excited. We've got a couple new carriers we're going to be doing them with this year. You know, we usually co-sponsor this with a home office. So they're usually held here in Omaha or out in Des Moines, Iowa. I know that's a really exciting destination, but let me tell you, this is going to be the best 2.5 days. You're going to get a lot of training, a lot of really great ideas, marketing systems. This isn't for your annuities 101 or your life insurance 101. This is for the seasoned producer who's been in the industry for a couple years, writing business already and looking to grow their business. We're going to bring in a lot of our top producers and they're going to share their exact marketing plan and what they're doing for marketing with you, whether it be their seminar, their radio show, you know, direct mail, anything that they're doing to get in front of clients. They're going to actually share it with you. As well as a lot of speakers that we bring in as well. So I think it's a really great opportunity if you're looking to grow your business. A couple things with this is we do require that you are contracted with IAMS. And since we do partner with a lot of the different home offices, I mean, we've done them at Athene, AIG, American Equity, North American, Equitrust. I know we're looking at doing one with Fidelity and F&G. You know, these guys get a say so in who comes in as well. So if you're contracted is a requirement, if you're doing business, that's going to help you get in a spot quicker than anyone else. So we do like to see a little bit of business at a time because this is all expense paid. We're covering your flights, your meal, and your hotels. So really no cost to you once you get on the plane. So I think it's really worth the time. We usually run it on a Wednesday afternoon through a Friday morning, get you back home by the weekend so you can enjoy your weekend still. So with that, I'm going to throw up the second poll question. If you are interested in attending one of our life and annuity academies, go ahead and answer yes. I don't have the dates yet for the next one. A lot of you guys don't like to come visit us in the Midwest in the middle of winter. So I'd say it's probably going to be late February, early March. But again, it's a great opportunity to get some great training from some advisors who are very successful in the life and the annuity business and really want to help you grow your business as well. So go ahead and answer that question. We'll get moving on. All right, last thing I'm going to talk about is trips. Everyone loves trips, and we've got a couple exciting ones to talk about. First one I'm going to talk about is our IAMS and Athene 2020 Marketing Summit. We usually partner every year with Athene on a top producers trip for business that's written with them, with Athene. So qualification period started in July and runs through June of next year. $3 million gets you and a guest there at the Montage down in Cabo. We're really excited about the destination and it'll be a really nice trip. So it is only Athene production. Will count for this trip and it's for you and a guest and it'll be a great time. So we're really excited to partner with Athene, the Montage. I know my boss was down there a couple weeks ago making sure it passed the approval and he said it was one of the nicest places he's ever seen in his life. So really excited about that trip. If you have questions as far as where you stand, how many trip credits you've got toward this trip, you can give Cynthia here at the office a call. She can get that total to you. Also, I will mention for all business that's been issued with Athene in the month of November and December will earn double trip credits toward this trip as well. So we're really excited about that. Second of all, we're going to talk about our IAMS 2021 trip. We do a top producers escape every 18 months. So qualification did just begin again in July and runs through December of next year. $3.5 million gets you and a guest. Going to be staying at the Secrets down in Mexico. So really excited about this trip. And then what we're doing is we're going to kind of piggyback that with an elite top producers trip. So this trip will run March 7th through the 11th. And then our top 15, top 20 guys, or people, $6.5 million qualifies you, $8.5 million guarantees you a spot. We'll go off to another private island or another island in Mexico for another few days of golf and relaxation. So we're really excited about these trips. Like I said, qualification just started in July. We've got plenty of time to qualify. Again, if you have questions on where you stand, give one of the marketers at IAMS a call or give Cynthia a call. She can always get that total for you as well. And with that, I am going to hand it over to Dustin. Dustin's our internal senior wholesaler over at Fidelity and Guarantee Life, and he's going to be sharing with us about a couple different products that we're really excited about. So with that, Dustin, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you very much, Laura. I appreciate the opportunity here. Show my screen. Maybe switch the screen. Get this. All right. So it should be good to go there.
Yep.
Yeah. So are we good to go, Laura?
Yep, you're good.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So thank you all for taking a few minutes of your time today. I know we do not take that lightly here at F&G. The moments that you spend away from, selling products to customers is costing you money. So we do not take that lightly. I'll try to provide as much value as I possibly can in the 30 minutes or so that we have. So thanks to IAMS, one of our top partners. We really appreciate everything they do. I'm a bit jealous of that Athene trip. I've been to the Montage in Park City, and those resorts are second to none. So I'm sure that'll be a nice one. So today, again, my name is Dustin Carlson. I'm Senior Internal Wholesaler at F&G. Here's a quick agenda. Why F&G? Why now? This may be an introduction or a reintroduction to F&G for many of the people on the phone. So want to tell you a little bit about our organization and why we are doing so well this year, amongst many other years, of course, but also doing product overview. We're going to do some sales concepts at the end too. Hopefully you can take away some nice sales concepts to help close more business. So let me start out by saying we're the number 4 IMO carrier in 2018 by volume. We did over $3 billion of annuity sales. Just to give you an idea of where we stand from a production perspective, I think we may squeeze number 3 this year, but definitely holding on to number 4 for 2019. And we're having a great year. As you can see, 47% we're up 47% from 2018. And we'll get into why I think that is here in a few minutes. But overall, our accumulation story has been very, very strong this year. Speaking of strong, our A- rating upgrade that we received in November of 2018 has been huge for us. And I don't think that we're going to stop there. If you listen to our CEO on our earnings calls, we're doing everything we can to get to A as quickly as possible, but sometimes AM Best leaves you hanging out there for a while until they feel that they can go ahead and give you that upgrade. So just as soon as we can get there, we'll have that A rating. Lastly, strategic partnerships. If you all don't know about our ownership group, we were owned by Harbinger up until 2017. That's when we were B++. The new ownership group were 2 private investors from Blackstone. And Blackstone is the world's largest alternative asset manager. If you're not familiar, those 2 private investors took us public. They own 20% of the shares. Blackstone themselves actually owns 20% of our shares. So we're getting their investment expertise direct from Blackstone. We're not having to pay a third party to invest your client's money. So we're passing along that savings, obviously, to our own internal rate of return, to your commissions, and back into the product. So that's a pretty big deal for us. And I think part of the reason that we've had such great success in 2019 year to date. The other thing I'd say is we collaborate with the field a good amount, and I'd say more than most carriers do, in the sense that we have a number of products on our shelves that have been designed by other IMOs, or top producers have given us great suggestions on new innovations that they would like to see in an income rider or on the accumulation side. And I think you'll see some of that coming about in 2020, new income rider coming out, some more accumulation products. So we're continuing to innovate with our field partners. And I typically like to start off with perks before I get into product. I think it catches everyone's attention and keeps them awake and on the line longer. So in full disclosure, we're going to start with products with perks instead of products. And this is simply our deferred comp plan. And we also offer trips, but Power Producer is for those agents that are giving us their business on a regular basis. And we like to treat those people well, obviously because of their loyalty. And I think really what it comes down to is you all help people retire with dignity every single day you go out there and produce, right? But who's really looking out for your retirement plan? And if we're all sitting in a room, I'd probably ask you to raise your hand and say, and ask you the question, how many of you have access to your own personal 401k with maybe a company match or a pension plan? 95% of you would probably not be able to raise your hand because really only 5% of employers offer traditional pensions. Most agents out there do not have access to 401k plans themselves. So what we've done is we've helped you out in that aspect by offering a non-qualified deferred comp plan. And when most other carriers were getting rid of their plans during DOL, we decided to keep ours. So our major competitors got rid of their trips, deferred comp, and this is a long-term initiative, something that we're going to keep around for a while. We've actually had it since 2011, made 28 millionaires since then. And in this brief example, I'll show you what it's all about, and you can reach out to Laura to get a copy of the next slide, which will be the calculator for this program. But in this example, we have a 6-year vesting period in this program. For annuity premium, you need to produce at least $1.75 million to earn a credit. Now, you can continue to earn credits on top of that, as many as you can possibly earn, but $1.75 million is the minimum. Typically, those credits are between $3,000 and $5,000 a piece, and this is of no detriment to your commissions. This is over and above everything that we offer. So we'll take a look at qualifying year 1, 2, and 3 in this example. So this advisor is doing the minimum every single year to qualify, $1.75 million of annuity production. In that year 1, we've given $3,750 hypothetically for that credit. In year 2, another $1.75 million, another $3,750. But you'll notice there's 2 deposits in qualifying year 2. What that is persistency credit, and that's really where the rubber meets the road in this program. So as long as that business from the previous years stays on the books, it's not surrendered, canceled, free looked, whatever, we'll go ahead and give you that credit again in every subsequent year. So that second deposit in year 2 is from the production in year 1, or a balance of $11,250. Fast forward another year to year 3. You did the production to get another credit, but you're also getting 2 additional deposits of $3,750 because of the prior year's business staying on the books. So at the end of year 3, you have $22,500 in your deferred comp account. This is the calculator I was talking about. It's an Excel spreadsheet, and I'd encourage you to email Laura for that right now. I've highlighted that in orange at the top of this page. But let's take a look at the inputs here. This is an advisor doing 2 credits worth of $3.5 million. The other input that you can make here is life sales. We do incentivize life heavily because we're trying to grow our life business. And then the hypothetical account interest rate of 5% that you see there in the middle, that's an account that we're establishing at Principal Financial Group for you. So all the funds you earn go to Principal Financial Group. You have the ability to actively manage this account. There's roughly 20 ETFs that you can choose from to earn an optimal amount of interest. In this example, I chose 5. Credit value, I chose $4,000. So let's go down to the output. In year 6, you're fully vested. You've been earning 2 credits a year for 6 straight years, doing $3.5 million with us. At the end of 6 years, you'd have $168,000. Apply the 5% interest, you'd have $182,000. Let's say you have 10 years left in the business, or you're just getting started in the business. At the end of 10 years, you can have up to $513,000 with the 5% interest rate on that money. It's really a powerful program for you to take part in when you don't have a traditional 401k or pension plan to contribute to. We also have a trip. We go to Four Seasons properties typically. So excellent, top-notch, first-class properties. It takes $3.5 million of fixed indexed annuity premium to qualify. So if you do $3.5 million of F&G through IAMS, you're going to get a couple nice trips with them. So this is going to be in Costa Rica and Papagayo. I've heard this is one of the top Four Seasons resorts in the world. So if you don't have $3.5 million in by now, you're kind of cutting it close, but just know next year you can start out fresh and qualify for next year's trip. Now, why did I put a picture of my parents on the left, me, my wife, and my son hiking on the right? I think it goes unsaid a lot, but we have such a great opportunity as an industry to provide a unique product to customers. You know, my dad actually has worked for Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad for 30 years, and he has a traditional pension plan. He was able to retire on St. Patty's Day this year at the age of 60 with a full pension. And he's making just as much money in retirement as he was working. But 95% of people out there do not have that traditional pension. So, you know, what am I going to do? What's my wife going to do? What's my son going to do? You got to think about it like, what would your prospects be able to do? And I think we have such a great opportunity to provide a lifetime income for those people who don't have that pension plan like my dad has. So we'll get into a couple accumulation products, but here's a look at our product portfolio. We have accumulation, we have performance-driven income, and we have guaranteed income or death benefit. And as I touched on the last slide, Safe Income Plus and Prosperity Elite are some of the top two products in guaranteed income, meaning that pension-like payment for the rest of someone's life. So big opportunity there, and I encourage you to reach out to Laura and the team to learn more about those products. But today, our mission is to talk about our two accumulation products. We've seen a dramatic increase in accumulation plays this year. You know, we have one of the bright spots in the industry as far as interest earnings go. S&P correlated indexes so far this year have not been able to perform well due to the interest rate environment and the 10-year Treasury going down all the way to 1.4 roughly. I mean, as I looked at my phone, we're up, looks like 1.8. So not too conducive to internal rate of return, which turns out, you know, to be that index cap that you see on S&P. So our Barclay story has been extremely strong in our Accumulator Plus. It's a 2-year point-to-point with a 5% volatility trigger. And also we've added Power Accumulator in October. Same chassis, 7 and 10-year accumulation with no bonus, uncapped growth in the proprietary indexes in these products. But what I tell you, the main difference is the crediting strategies themselves. You have the Accumulator Plus, which has that uncapped Barclays, 140% participation. Year to date, it's up 14.8%. So times that by 140% par that we have in our Accumulator Plus, have yourself a nice 2-year return. If you look at a true 2-year look back, it's up around 10%. So multiply that by 140 and you get yourself a 14% return over 2 years. It's really good inside of an FIA. And the analogy I'd use here when looking at these two accumulation products is, you have your Accumulator Plus, which is a 5% volatility trigger. You have your Power Accumulator, which has the Balanced Asset 10 index. The 10 is a 10% vol. So a 10% vol has more alpha built into it or more volatility. So the clients have a higher upside potential. They can hit more home runs. But just like a home run hitter hits a lot of home runs, he also strikes out a lot, right? So, you know, if your client wants that alpha, wants that volatility, we have that for them. If they want a smoother ride, you know, somebody that's going to hit singles, doubles, and triples, it's exactly what that Barclays Trailblazer does. So we'll dive into Accumulator Plus quick. 7 and 10-year chassis, as mentioned, no fee. 130% par in the Barclays 2-year index that is completely uncapped with no spread. 140% in the 10-year. A big differentiator for us is that next bullet point, liquidity waivers. You all are familiar with terminal illness and nursing home, but we take it to another level with home health care. And this is a big selling point if I'm sitting in your chair, across a table from a client during my presentation. And what I'm talking about is, if you, Mr. and Mrs. Client, cannot perform 2 of 6 activities of daily living after the first year in this contract, Fidelity and Guarantee will let you get out of the contract with no MBA or surrender charge. Now, why is that so powerful? Well, if you're with a competitor of ours, they make you be confined to a nursing home facility or have a terminal illness to access that benefit. But you could ask your client, and you could pull 100 clients, and you might have that 1 out of 100 that tells you, yeah, I'd rather go to a nursing home than stay in my own home. But that's the true value here. If that money in this annuity and all the accumulation value in it can help that client hedge those healthcare costs, bring a nurse into their own home, don't you think they'd like to do that? And I think that's a big time value on our Accumulator Plus product. Here's a look at an illustration. Always like to show you the raw numbers. This would work at any age, but $100,000 deposit on a 60-year-old. Year 10, this grows to be $205,000. By year 20 or age 80, it grows to be $423,000 when allocated 100% to the Barclays index. So whether you're doing a legacy play, because most qualified money ends up becoming a legacy play anyways, you're going to have yourself a $422,000 death benefit. You could also use accumulation for income, peeling out your 3 or 4% withdrawal rate that you have for your clients. An RMD solution with this, and we're getting into that RMD territory right now towards the end of the year, doing the tax planning beginning of next year. Ask Laura for an illustration to show you RMDs coming out of this contract, and I think what you would find is, yeah, you may withdraw $100,000 from this contract, but you're still going to have a sizable account value that's north of what you had already deposited into the account to begin with, and that $100,000. So big time advantages with maximum accumulation inside the Accumulator Plus 10. A selling opportunity for you here. Most companies out there do the same thing we do on our illustrations. They show most recent 10, lowest 10, highest 10. Yeah, we can show 8.44%. The most recent is 7.48. But if I'm sitting in your chair, what I'm looking at is what is the worst that the Barclays Trailblazer has done over the worst 10-year period. It's done 6.36%. That was from 2005 to 2015. What a great way to sell an index to a client, knowing that, on the illustrated rate, the worst that it performed was 6.36%. Really good inside of a fixed indexed annuity. So to round that out, obviously we have the Barclays uncapped growth that I've talked about, 5% volatility trigger. One thing that I didn't mention with the Barclays, it's extremely important, is the contractual minimum participation rate. You see many of our carriers going sub 100, 50, 60, 70% par rate. Something you need to keep in mind when looking at these proprietary indices, yeah, maybe that pure performance number is like ours at 14.8%, but you're only going to get 50, 60, 70% of that. With the Barclays index, you're going to get 140% of 14.8. So keep that in mind, and contractual minimum, again, is 100% participation. Liquidity waiver, we have that home health care waiver for your clients, and what a great thing to put your clients in to level out volatility. The Barclays index can rebalance on a daily basis versus a monthly like most of our competition, mitigating some of those overnight losses or 2 or 3 day losses that you see in the market, as well as obviously protecting your downside inside of an FIA. So what I like to do is try to read your mind even before you hop in to this webinar. because I hear this question on a daily basis from advisors looking at the Barclays index. If you have a client that has an objection to a 2-year index because they want to see a return that first year, I'd venture to say to that client that an annuity is a buy and hold strategy to begin with. And if you look at the richest people in the world, typically they're buying and holding. I know we're talking to IAMS, who's in Omaha. The Oracle of Omaha buys and holds all the time. Warren Buffett is notorious for that. So a 2-year index should not scare anybody. But if they're still nervous about it, this is a strategy that I've taken from a number of quality advisors that I've worked with. Split the money in the beginning. Let's say $100,000 deposit, $50,000 in the annual strategy, $50,000 in the Barclays 2-year. Upon that first year renewal, go ahead and reallocate to a second Barclays bucket. That way, as you can see here, you have a return in year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and so on. Pretty easy strategy to implement into your practice. I'll leave that up for just a second. All right, so our latest and greatest product, and what I like about this product is we have built this in partnership with iShares by Blackrock. Blackrock is a household name across the industry. 1 in 3 investors owns an ETF. Half of those ETFs are Blackrock iShares. So most people you talk to, they may not know they have an ETF, but they probably do. And what I'd say is a lot of times that is going to be a Blackrock iShare. If you'd like historical returns, this product is going to have those historical returns in it. These ETFs have been around at minimum 14 years, so true track record that you can trace back at least 14 years. So 3 things to remember with this product: extremely innovative, using ETFs for crediting strategies inside an FIA with 0 downside risk, of course. It's very simple to explain with no caps or fees associated with it. As far as transparency goes, I mentioned the fact that we have real return history on this. This is one of the few financial instruments that will do this besides, let's say, looking at the Dow or the S&P 500. Truly innovative way to get that ETF exposure inside of an FIA. A few bits on Blackrock. These numbers are completely outdated. We had this as of March 31st, 2019, so I apologize. But the good news is these numbers have all gone up. Not really too relatable of numbers. I mean, I don't have trillions in my pocket, but that trillion number has gone up to over 7 trillion. They have a lot of AUM, of course. They've been in the business for a long time, have over 13,500 employees now, and their AUM in iShares themselves is over $2 trillion. So a quality asset manager that we're partnering with here. So why this product? What I tell you is the bare bones of this product, the entire structure is the same as the Accumulator Plus. Just like every other FIA, it's principally protected, it's tax deferred, it has its guarantees, and has liquidity built in. And how we got here, let's start at the bottom in that green sector. S&P 500, the few qualities about that: it's trusted, very transparent, traceable history going back 50, 60 years. It's also highly volatile, and I think that goes unsaid a lot of times, but the S&P 500 is very, very volatile. The middle box there is talking about the advent of alternative indices, and you saw a lot of advisors shifting their premium in 2015 in a similar interest rate environment to proprietary indices to try to earn a nominal amount of interest inside of an FIA. So alternative indices, they offer you professional management. They're rules-based. They have newer history, which is some people claim as a downside, which is fine, and low volatility. So a great alternative there to a highly volatile S&P. And the advent of an ETF inside of an FIA, pardon the acronyms there, is they're trusted, they're transparent, they're time-tested, and they have flexible volatility. So really the best of both worlds there. If you're not familiar with the industry itself, it's projected to be $7.6 trillion in ETFs, which has grown dramatically since the advent of these things. But as you can see here, it's about a roughly $5 trillion industry, and iShares are roughly half of that. So keep that in mind with the partnership that we have with Blackrock. So why this simple accumulation story? Well, it has no annual fee. It has no caps to explain. But what I personally like about it is it's trackable and transparent, and those are benchmarked to real returns. If your client is insistent on having real returns in what they're about to purchase, we have that option now. So the details, like I said, 7 and 10 year option. We have 4 ETFs that you can utilize, and I'll show you those on the next slide. We have your home health care waiver, just like we do on the Accumulator Plus, 10% penalty-free withdrawals, and the same sort of death benefit as the Accumulator Plus has. Now, these are the ETFs. So if you look at the green portion, you have your S&P 500 or IVV. That is a ticker symbol. You can go out to Bloomberg, CNBC, use whatever your favorite app is to track that history there. But the live date on the IVV was, almost 20 years ago now. The youngest one is the gold, which actually is a very good inverse allocation option. But we have your domestic exposure, your international exposure with the ETHA. We also have real estate and gold as far as alternative options. And then we created an exclusive or proprietary index called the Balanced Asset 10, which is made up of 2 iShares, the IVV, which is your S&P, and the TLT. It's their 20-year Treasury bond iShare ETF. That's where we're seeing most of the premium go in this product. Over the last month, we've been issuing policies. And I'll show you that in just a second here. But my favorite part about this slide is the live dates and the years available. Who doesn't love trackable, traceable, transparent history? Again, 60% of the Balanced Asset 10 is made up of your S&P, 40% is of your Treasury bond, and we are applying a 10% volatility trigger, offering more home runs, giving you more of that alpha of the IVV or S&P, and giving you your beta, of course, with the 20-year Treasury bond. On an illustrated rate return, and keep in mind these are historicals, this Balanced Asset 10 actually has performed very, very well over the last 10 years, 10.61% rate of return. Now, just like the S&P is highly volatile and carriers have to make adjustments to their caps and par rates, we're not immune in this product. I would say when the interest rate market comes back, I would say at least north of 2, you'll see these par rates go up just like the rest of the industry would. I think if you're looking at this and you see our S&P par rate at 27%, that's very similar to, say, American Equity's 25% par rate in the S&P. It's just all about that internal rate of return and the option cost these days. So where we're seeing the meat of premium going to is at the bottom here, Balanced Asset 10. We have a 1-year option at 47% par and a 2-year option at 100% participation rate. We do apply a 5% spread. So as you can see here, the most recent highest and lowest 10-year period, the highest number would be in that 2-year with a spread at 7.83. Next would be that 5.48 in the 1 year. So seeing a lot of premium go to those options. We do have all the marketing collateral available for this. We have client videos. We have all sorts of in-depth overviews of the index crediting or the ETFs themselves. Just a number of different tools. And one thing I'd point out is it is available on RetireUp if you all are using RetireUp at this point. And Laura should have a link to our non-password protected landing page that has all of this information out there. You don't need a password or log into F&G to get it. So if you do need that website, please reach out to Laura on that. Okay, so I'll end on some quick annuity sales ideas and a little bit about our suitability and how to submit business to F&G. And one of the things I've been hearing for the past couple of years is client objections to getting too far into the weeds and agents losing business, not closing sales because of it. And what I'd say to that seasoned veteran on the phone or someone that has just got into this business is sometimes it doesn't hurt to get back to the basics of what an annuity is. Sometimes you can sell an annuity without even saying the word annuity, and I think that's when the most solid sales are made anyways. There's no buyer's remorse. They don't care what instrument you're selling them. They just want that downside protection of their retirement assets that they work for all their life, right? Maybe a little bit of gain that locks in on an annual or biannual basis. So with the next couple of slides, I'll show you some of the two most popular that I've been using and I've gotten great feedback on. And you may have seen these before, but it doesn't hurt to give you the reminder. So if you're sitting in a client meeting and you got a whiteboard or even a piece of paper and a pen, draw a bucket, draw the amount of retirement assets that they have. Let's call it $500,000 in this example. And you can simply ask the client, if you could eliminate one way for those $500,000 to go in the market, which one would you eliminate? And 10 times out of 10, they're going to eliminate that arrow that's going down, right? So the level or the up is exactly what an FIA does. Downside protection, upside potential. Pretty simple. The other one, and this is a marketing piece we actually have, and I've included Laura's email address in there again. Sorry for all the emails you're going to get, Laura, but I think it's a good thing that advisors get this in their hands. And I took a screenshot of this marketing piece, and you can actually put your contact information in this piece here on this editable ETF. But what I have is no more making up for market loss. Most of your clients probably weathered that storm in 2007, 2008, 2009. One way or the other, they made it through, right? Hopefully they've been able to gain all their assets back inside their 401ks. Since then, the stat is that I know off the top of my head, 80% of 401ks lost 37% of their value over that time period. So when you're talking to a client, you don't even have to mention the positive numbers from an FIA. You could just mention the negative numbers that they may see inside their 401k or if their money's in the market. Let's take that 37% example. We'll use 35 here. If you go down to 35%, follow that corresponding green line up, you'll see 53.8%. What that number represents is the number that your client would have to earn the next year just to get back to even. So let that sink in for a minute when you're talking to your client.
And Dustin, there was a couple questions that popped in here asking for the time periods on the power accumulator as far as surrender charge schedule. They're
7 and 10.
That's on both products. So for those of you, there's a couple of them that asked that same thing. So just for those of you who asked, both 7 and 10 for the power accumulator and the accumulator plus.
Yep. Same chassis, same everything, just different crediting options on that on those two products.
We also had one other person asking about trail commissions. Is that something in F&G's future?
Yes, in April. We'll have those come out in April. We'll have all sorts of options. I think there's 4 options.
Perfect. Those were the questions for now.
Cool. Again, pretty powerful piece to put in front of a client. Leave it with them in your meetings, at your seminars. Provide this to them because this is indisputable. If they're exposed to the market, they could experience a loss. And, it's going to take somebody a long time to stomach and to come back from even a 15 or 20% loss there. So it's a great way to sell the idea of what an annuity protects against to a client that may not be familiar or have objections to them. And you don't even have to mention the word annuity, right? So reach out to Laura for that. And really, Laura, that's what I have for today. So I just really want to say thank you for everyone for taking time away from your practice. And I know it's potentially costing you money to do so. So whatever I can do to assist, whatever Laura and her team can do to assist, we will do so. But thank you so much for everything you're doing for us here.
And I went ahead and threw out the last poll question for everyone. If you do want information on the Power Accumulator or the Accumulator Plus, if you go ahead and answer yes to that question, Ashton, my assistant here in the office, will email that out to you guys today, along with a lot of those marketing pieces Dustin was showing you. And then I will follow up with each of you individually following the webinar, either later today or tomorrow, to see what individual questions you may have. So we do appreciate you taking the time out of your day. Dustin, we really appreciate you joining us. And have a great Thursday, everyone.
Thanks, Laura.